Our next guest is taking an ancient healing technique and bringing it right here to the 757 and to our Living 757 stage. Patricia is experiencing some cupping. This is Corrine Hupp from Hupp To It.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay, so for anybody who was like, what is going on? What is cupping?
Yes, so cupping is a myofascial decompression, and basically I'm suction cupping, right? The skin, fascia, and a little bit of the muscle as well. And what it does is it's taking oxygen and blood away from the area, right?
Okay.
And so let's say Patricia's got some tightness in her traps,
Feels so good.
lower back, and we're going to deprive this muscle, this fascia area, of any sort of oxygen blood flow, and then once I take the cups off, then blood, oxygen, any sort of anti-inflammatory healing processes start to begin so that the muscles relax and you're able to get some healing, trying to increase range of motion, bring blood flow back to the area. And you'll see too, we're gonna have Patricia do some moves with the cups on.
Really?
And yeah.
Really?
Okay.
And that's gonna help the muscle and fascia flow through the cups as well so that every piece gets touched by a little bit of that suction.
Okay, so if somebody comes to you for a session, like what's the process? How long does it take? What do they need to wear? Is there any prep?
Great question. So basically, when someone comes in to see me, I will do a full evaluation with them, and that will kind of depend on where the pain is, right? If we're having back pain, we may focus there, a little bit of hips, a little bit of shoulders. I do like people to wear athletic gear just because then they can move around for me, right? I want
okay.
there to be some movement, especially because I want to see people who are athletes, people who are ready for, trying to get back to some sort of activity.
Right.
And so we will do that evaluation and then go through either a cupping session. I use some other manual therapy techniques as well, active release techniques, muscle scraping, like with a muscle scraping tool like gua sha or scraping. So anything of that matter. And then I'll give people exercises, rehab stretches at the end for them to continue on with their healing as well.
Homework.
Yes, homework. Everyone
love
loves
it.
homework.
I love it. And while we're talking about how a session goes, who all is cupping for? Like what all does it treat?
Yes, so it really can treat any sort of soft tissue ailment that someone might have, right? Whether that's just tightness in the low back, upper traps. Some people may have a little bit of hamstring tightness. A lot of my runners with their hamstrings and their calves as well. But any rotator cuff tendonitis, trying to think, lots of any sort of patellar tendonitis as well.
So when I was doing my research, I always try to do research so I understand before I talk to somebody on our show.
Sure.
When I was doing research, there were a couple things that said it can treat migraines and headaches.
Yes.
How does that work?
Oh, that's
really
a great
cool.
question. Yes. So I actually, if I had someone that was coming in with me with consistent headaches, I would do a little bit of this upper trap area.
Okay.
And then to get a little bit deeper, I would actually come in and try to do some active release techniques moves, which would
Okay,
get
so like
get into a little bit more of like the muscles of the right at the base of the skull that can get really tight, cause those headaches. And so I would kind of start off with this to get those muscles to relax, because a lot of the tension can come from those upper traps.
Yes.
I love
well,
it.
that's really cool. So you said that this is the first stage. The second
Yes.
stage is getting some movement in.
Yep.
So can we see what that looks like?
Absolutely. All right. So Patricia, I'm going to have you
Yes.
up on all
Oh
fours.
no,
and
I'm so relaxed.
I know. I'm sorry. We
so
have to. We got to
awesome.
get a little bit more.
The best part of the show today.
We talked about this, Patricia.
I know.
It's time to exercise.
So let me
Okay,
have you
let's do
up,
it.
and we're going to do a basic cat-cow move, right?
What is that?
Okay.
So,
For anybody who doesn't know, cat-cow is something they use a lot in yoga and Pilates. It's a really good stretching technique. It's called cat-cow because first you bring your back up, arch it up like a cat, like a scared cat on Halloween.
it's a little harder to do with the cups on.
It's harder
There
to
we
do
go.
with the cups on, so that's why it looks like that. And then there you go, there's the cow. And it's because you look like the two animals when you're doing it, but it also gives a really good stretch through the back.
Actually, and I feel the suction on the cups, like when you move.
Yep, you're feeling that muscle kind of slide
That looks crazy.
through. And you can see, if you got really close up, you can kind of see the movement through the cup as well.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's wild.
So, exactly.
I love it,
It's a
actually.
little
It
bit
feels
harder
so
to
good.
do with them on,
Yep.
but once they come off, then we're able to increase that range of motion that you might have been missing before.
I always think that
Alright.
Adisi was painful, but it's not painful at all. It's very relaxing. I love it.
Yes. And before we go, can you tell our viewers, one, where they can follow you and find you, but two, can you also take a couple of them off so we
Yeah.
can see what the removal looks like?
Absolutely.
Because, like Patricia said, she thought it was going to be painful, but it's not.
It's not.
Good.
Actually, it's amazing.
So, ready for the release? This is the best part.
I am ready.
right?
Ah, yes. Oh my gosh.
We'll take these guys off, and then I will kind of do a little bit, and they do get stuck. There we go. And I will kind of try to bring some more blood flow back to the area, so we'll rub out the cups a little bit, the cup marks.
I
It
love
can
it.
cause some bruising. But yeah, so if anyone's looking to find me, you can book with me online on my website.
Oh my gosh.
Or
Feels so
there's some
good.
more examples of some cupping and active release techniques that are on my Instagram if anyone wants to see those as well.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for choosing
welcome.
me for this. Well, now that I feel so relaxing, it's time for food. And right after the break, Cookie from the Heart is preparing one of my favorite dishes, so don't go anywhere. All right, can I have a little bit?